Number 19, we are going to multiply two complex numbers, square root of negative 128 times the square root of negative 2. So the first thing you do is you have to pull the imaginaries from the square roots. Normally when things are under a square root, you can just multiply them together. So just say if I have the square root of 3 and the square root of 4, I can do 3 times 4, and that will give me the square root of 12. Okay. You don't want to start doing that here, because if you do that, you'll get negative times a negative, and you'll have a positive, and you will forget that that negative was ever there. But you have to keep trace of that when it's under the square root. So I'm going to rewrite this as I square root of 128, and I'm going to write this as I square root of 2. And from here, then we can multiply those two together and the two i's. So this will give us I squared times the square root, 128 times 2. That'll give us 256. And 256, is that a perfect square? No, so we'll just reduce. So remember, I squared is negative 1. So we have the negative on the outside now. Square root of 256. Alright, so I'm going to break down 256. 2 and 128. This will break down to 2 and 64. I guess it is a perfect square. And 64 will break down, is that 16? And 16, 256? No. I don't know. 8 times 8 is 64. Now, I could continue to break down the 8s, but since I have up here, I'm going to stop there. 8, and yeah, I guess it is 16. I was thinking of a different time. And then the 2. So even if you don't realize it's a perfect square, you can break it down. So have a negative, a 2 comes out, and an 8 comes out. Negative 2 times 8 is going to give us a negative 16. Number 20. We have 6 plus square root of negative 2 quantity squared. So I'm going to write this as a FOIL problem. 6 plus square root negative 2, and then 6 plus square root negative 2. And I'm going to FOIL 6 times 6, 36. 6 times square root of 2, that 6 attaches to the outside, so plus 6 square root negative 2. And then 6 times square root of negative 2 again, plus 6 square root negative 2. And then the square root of negative 2 times the square root of negative 2, I'm going to write it as square root of negative 2 quantity squared. Combine the middle terms, they're both the same. This is treated like a variable, so add the 6's together. 36 plus 12 square roots of negative 2. And then the square and the square root will cancel each other out, so you just add this negative 2 to the back, or minus 2. Combine the real number parts, 36 and 2, subtract, so you get 34 plus 12 square root of negative 2. And I don't know if we want to rewrite this as an imaginary part. I guess I will. take the negative out here, so I will have 34 plus 12I square root of 2. And we're going to leave it like that. That's all we can do at that point.